Buddy, it is Michael White.
Good morning, everyone, and it's Anthea Morphetis, and thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, guys. I think from now on we won't tell you our names because you pretty much know who we are at this point. Um, um, guys, please like, share, subscribe for the video. That's why we do these things. We want to climb up in the algorithm. We want to be able to give you guys good quality content. We want to be able to provide to you guys the best. And we're also going to upgrade some things as we go along. But our main goal is to give you guys good quality content. So please like, share, subscribe. You see the buttons down at the bottom. And even when we post the videos on YouTube, all the social media links are there. You want to see the studies. You want to see our Instagrams. You want to follow us on Instagram. You want to follow us on Twitter. You want to follow us on Facebook. Go there and you'll be able to do all of that. So today's video is a very interesting one. It's about people pleasing. I think it's a problem for a lot of people because through people pleasing, they get validation. But it actually stems from something a lot deeper. It stems from childhood. A lot of it stems from your parents not validating you, and because there was a lack of validation, or like, hey, like you're such an amazing child, or whatever, or that inspiration or that encouragement to go out and do whatever, you seek it in your partners, you seek it in your friends, and you seek it in your work. We'll have a video to show today, but before I get started, I'm actually going to ask Anthea what she thinks of people pleasing.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think people pleasing does come from childhood, massively comes from childhood. And I think once you get into that motion of people pleasing, it doesn't, my experience, it doesn't end well, because you end up with resentment later on, because you're giving, and then the person hasn't been brought up the same as you, isn't the same person as you. You're two separate entities, so they're not giving you what you're giving them, and then it comes to a point where you start thinking, well, why am I not receiving? But it's because you keep on trying to please people, and they're not trying to please anybody else. So I think if you're going to please anybody, please yourself. Always, like, give that validation to yourself. It always comes back to self-love and finding that within you, because otherwise you are going down a rabbit hole. You are going down a place of you're literally going to be thinking to yourself at some point, well, why am I not getting this in return? And I think that's the short side of it, Michael, really, before you play the video.
I would say overall that is the short side of it, because the sad thing is with people pleasing, you always do what other people want first.
Yes.
So you feel like your opinions, your views, or whatever don't matter. They're kind of pushed off to the side because you're always going to keep wanting to do what other people do. But as you said, it eventually leads to resentment, because now you feel like your thoughts or stuff is not considered, especially if you say your thoughts and they're pushed aside. So like, let's say you're like dating someone and you're like, hey, like, let's do this. And they're like, no, we're doing this. You know what I mean? And you're kind of like, okay, like, does my opinions and views even matter?
Yeah, you become like a ghost, right? It's like you're the ghost in the relationship, and it makes you feel that way. Because I've been there, where you're not being validated in any way, shape, or form, and I'm putting other people first. And when it is a push. It's like you just said, if somebody you're saying, oh, I would like to do this, and they're just, well, actually, I want to do this, and because you want to please people and you want to make somebody happy, you then go and do that. But it can only lead to resentment, because how long can you possibly ignore yourself? How long can you possibly do that before you feel something doesn't feel good? It's gonna hit at some point.
Yeah, but you can't. Yeah, but they can't. You can't make them want to validate your points either. Like if they don't, acknowledge like your thoughts and feelings and they just kind of brush it off to the side, especially after you've expressed yourself, now you have a problem.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, you know what I mean? And I've spoken to like a lot of women and I've spoken to a lot of men. Women will tell the man, hey, I want to do this. He ignores it. But then the only time he doesn't ignore her, like her thoughts and feelings, when he wants bedroom fun. On the guy's side, a guy will make a suggestion, say whatever. The girl brushes it off to the side. Clearly, she doesn't respect that man or his leadership. You see what I'm saying? So there's both negatives to both sides.
And I think also, in touching what you just said, if you're a people pleaser, then you're going to put yourself. You're actually ignoring yourself. Hence, why the other person is ignoring you, because you're just doing things to please somebody else and not please yourself. So you're putting other people first. Therefore, you're ghosting yourself in that sense, and then it reflects back off you of the other person too. It's like another side of it where if you're ignoring yourself and you're not putting yourself first and you're not standing up for what you want as well, and you're not voicing your opinion, like really putting your foot down to say, well, I'm not accepting this. These are my non-negotiables. However you're going to say it, obviously you're not going to be rude about it. But if you're not acknowledging yourself and you keep on putting other people first, then eventually that will reflect on you, and the other person or people will then treat you how you're treating yourself. You're not putting yourself first. But once you start self-loving and actually accept and put yourself first to say, well, this is what I want. And I'm not saying it always has to be what you want, but there's obviously a balance between things. But if you're putting yourself first and you're doing what you want to, then that will then set a boundary and set a tone for the other person. They know that they can't just brush you off or ghost you like that to say, well, you just said something, but no, actually I'm doing what I want to do. So, yeah.
I think it's more of a consideration thing, because you see, I've seen couples fight over, we always do what he wants to do, or we always do what she wants to do. And even when they've voiced, hey, can we do this, it's still brushed off to the side. So at that point, a conversation needs to be had to say, hey, I feel like you don't acknowledge the things I want to do. Now there needs to be some adjustments. You see, like a dial tone, like volume on a phone or volume on the TV. Now we need to make some adjustments.
And if the person doesn't adhere to those adjustments in any way and does it for just a couple of days and then goes back to how they were, then it's not worth your time and energy. It's just not worth
it. You need to assess the relationship and you need to leave. Yeah, because and again, you see, we're not just telling you just to quit on your relationships, but again, there's a time factor, because if you've been with this person for 2-3 years, you're not just gonna, oh, you don't want to do what I want to do, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Now you need to look at your options, especially if you're married to them, you have a 5-year relationship. Now you probably need to talk about going to couples counseling. That's what I would suggest before you just break up with the person. I would say, hey, can we go to counseling together? And then if they still say no to the counseling, then I would break up with the person. I would suggest that. But if they say yes to the counseling, then you know that they want to get something fixed. But that's what I mean. On this podcast, we're not here to tell you just to break up with your partner when things don't go your way. We're here to tell you to address them. And if the person is not reciprocating, and things are staying the same, now you need to take a different course of action.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you've always got to give people that opportunity, especially like you said, if you're married, you don't just get up and walk away like that. Mm-hmm. It doesn't work that way. But if you're seeing it time and time again in every conversation you're having and you're speaking about things and nothing is changing, then we've got to stop and think, well, if not, if it's not changing and another month's passed by, and you're still feeling really unhappy and unsatisfied because you're not being heard, you're not, it's not being acknowledged, and it's just going in the way that the other person wants it to go, and you're just not there. It's like you're not there. Then it comes to a point where, and they're saying, "Oh yeah, we'll do marriage counselling." Then you book an appointment, and then they don't turn up. Then they go, "Oh, just book another one." You book another one, and they don't turn up again. That's that's where you start thinking about what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
Yeah. But until then, absolutely, like Michael said, it's all about being able to tune in, change the channel as such, and adjust things. There's always adjustments to be made, and we're flexible like that. We can do that, and it's not changing a person. It's certainly not trying to change someone, but it is adjusting to what can work for you guys. If that's what you guys want, you want to be able to move forward in your relationship and grow in your relationship, then there's always going to have to be some kind of an adjustment being made.
Well, I think that because love is a choice, and we'll probably cover that in a podcast. When you truly love somebody and they truly love you, you're willing to make adjustments.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Of course. And if they're not, then it shows that then it's not 100%, is it, Michael? It's very much like, it's a very selfish thing in the wrong way. You got selfish in a good way where you're looking after self,
Yeah.
for the right ways of looking after yourself. And then you got selfish in the way where nothing else, there's no consideration for the other person. And if there's no consideration, how long can the human really go on and not be considered,
And become a volcano and just explode.
Yeah, and that's what happens, doesn't it, Michael? And this is why we've spoken often about communication, because if you're not communicating things, then you're just letting it build up inside you, and you would never know if that person would be willing to adjust. So it's so, as hard as it is, sometimes Michael's had a conversation with me about something, about just it being open and communicating. And as much as you could be, feel that you're not scared, but it's a bit apprehensive. Or should I do it? Should I not? And then you go and speak it. Once you've spoken it, what a difference it makes to yourself. It feels like just, you feel weightless at that point because you're not holding anything in you. It's not taking your thought process to a level that could be hurtful to yourself too, because you can start going into a spiral of thinking things that actually don't exist, not necessary. And if you just voice whatever it is that you're feeling and communicate that, then everything becomes better. Because if that person hasn't if they're not taking it on board, then at least you've communicated it. But if you haven't communicated it, then you will never know.
Agreed. So, guys, we're gonna show you like a little cool video here. It's one that I don't think Anthea's seen yet. I think I've shared it with her. Maybe I did.
No, you didn't.
Oh, okay. Then it's new for you then.
Yay.
And she'll like it. I'll like it, and we'll talk about it after. So it's a short video, guys, 9 minutes long. We'll let it play through, and then we'll have a nice little discussion after.
And today we're going to talk about nice guy syndrome, or in other words, people pleaser syndrome. And we're going to discuss why this is a very, very bad thing and what you need to do to overcome it. All right, so let's go.
Listen to me very carefully.
So to begin, I'm going to talk about my own personal experience about...
Guys, this is fair use. It's on YouTube. Just putting it out there. It's fair use. It's not our video. We're just using it to make a point and to help you guys. But it goes for both guys and girls.
People pleaser. It's not something I want to admit or talk about really, but your boy used to be a people pleaser. So I'm going to tell you some of the symptoms I went through, and I want you to see if you can recognize any of these in yourself. Okay? So back in the day when I was a people pleaser, I would try and please others so they wouldn't get offended, or so that I could get their approval and they wouldn't think bad of me. It sounds ridiculous saying that back now, but yeah, I mean, that's what happened. Next, I would let people push my boundaries, even when I wasn't comfortable with it. Okay, and this is a massive, massive one. So, for example, I would tolerate people's disrespect. I would tolerate passive aggressiveness. I would say yes to stuff even when I really wanted to say no, etc., etc. Next, and this ties into the last point, I would not be assertive and I would not stand up for myself. So even if there was like a minor bit of conflict, like just a disagreement, I would not state my point even if I knew it was right or if it was something I just wanted to express. And again, that was coming from a place of trying to seek approval or trying to come across well to the person or group of people I was speaking to. Next, and this is similar, I was scared to talk back. So if someone had a stupid opinion or something that I knew was wrong, I wouldn't talk back. I would just agree and let it go by. Next, I would feel bad if I got a negative response or if everyone didn't like me. Now this is ridiculous because, as we all know, not everyone's going to like you out there. Okay? And you can see by having this sort of negative belief, you're setting yourself up for a roller coaster of negative experiences. Next, I would try and solve other people's bad moods or pander to them. So if someone was in a bad mood, I'd try and fix it. Or I would pander to them and let them get away with silliness, even though I knew deep down it had nothing to do with me. However, I think what was causing that is I didn't want them to place any of their negative experience on me, and as I was trying to seek their approval, I would thus pander, which is ridiculous, but yeah, it happened. And finally, I would filter everything that I was saying when I was in a conversation with another person. I would speak in a way that wasn't natural to who I truly was. And again, that was all in an attempt to come across well to the other person and seek their approval and not get a negative response. I guess in some ways you could call this people pleasing or nice guy syndrome a form of social anxiety. Now, if you resonate with anything I just said, you could be a people pleaser. Now, fortunately, you can get over this, but it is going to take a little bit of practice. Before we discuss the methods to get over this people pleasing issue, let me just tell you why being a people pleaser or being a super nice person is bad. Number one, a lot of people won't respect you because they can essentially read that you don't respect yourself. Okay? Number two, when someone sees you're a super people pleaser or a super nice person, they will take advantage of you in ways they wouldn't even think of doing to other people. Next, people will either passively or directly bully you. Okay? So you might get made fun of, you might get passive aggressive comments, and you could end up getting physically bullied. Now look, it would be cool if all of us in this world could be super nice to each other and this wasn't an issue. But unfortunately, in reality, this doesn't take place. Okay? I'm not saying you have to be a jerk, but what I am saying is you need to learn to stand your ground, be assertive, and draw boundaries. Okay? And also know your value. So let's go over some methods to get over this issue, and we'll try and relate it back to the symptoms we mentioned in the first half of the video. So number one, you need to learn how to say no more often. Because here's the thing, when you're a people pleaser, you have the bad habit of saying yes to requests, even though when you secretly want to say no. Okay? Now doing this simple measure will help you draw boundaries, it will help you stand up for yourself, and it will allow you to see that nothing bad is going to happen. Okay? And this brings me on to my next point. Learn to draw your boundaries. When someone does something that you're not comfortable with, or something that disrespects you, you let them know. Alright? And this happens very frequently in the work environment. It can happen in university. It can happen among your friends. Okay? The second someone disrespects you, or they do it on multiple occasions, you draw the boundary and you let them know, no, I'm not having this. Who do you think you are? As soon as you draw a boundary with someone who disrespects you, you'll notice their behavior completely shifts. They'll start to suck up to you and they'll begin to pander to you, which is a weird dynamic when you see it in person. Okay? Next, you want to express yourself freely. Okay? Express yourself freely and let the chips fall where they may. Okay? Express your personality. Because here's the truth. No matter who you are out there, some people are going to like you, some people are going to hate you, and some people are going to be indifferent to you. Your best bet is to express your personality fully and attract those who like you for who you are. All right? And when you meet someone who does like you, put your energy onto those people. Don't focus on the people who don't like you, and don't focus on the people too much who are indifferent to you. Okay? And number two, let's keep it real. Most people in the world today are full of BS. I know that sounds kind of pessimistic, but I mean, just look at society and what's happening. Most people are full of nonsense. So don't take people too seriously, okay? As I say, your best bet is to be who you are and attract those who naturally resonate with your personality. All right? Next, practice expressing your opinion in situations where you're normally scared to speak up in. Okay, and if you're in the working environment, this could be in meetings. If you're in the home environment, it could be during family sessions. If you're out with a group of friends.
Okay, I'm just going to stop the video there because, again, I think he covered a lot of the points. Anthea, is there anything you want to say before we get started?
Oh, I mean, that was just profound, really, wasn't it? In the sense of he really did break down what happens when you're a people pleaser. And it's so true. You just do things. You allow people to disrespect you. You don't open up your mouth to say what you need to say. There's no boundaries set. And you're open up to being indirectly bullied or straight up bullied. The amount of things he covered there, and it's amazing because as I was listening to them, it threw me and and I was thinking to myself, "Wow, I was such a people pleaser. I so was." Hence why I ended up in the relationships that didn't work, because I didn't want to say, because I didn't want to upset the person, and I wanted.
Yeah, you don't want to rock the boat.
Didn't want to rock the boat, so I didn't say anything. I'd keep my mouth stum all the time, as much as in certain times, I'm more than happy to say what I need to say. But in relationships, I was so scared that if I say anything, then they will just get up and leave.
Yeah, the fear of loss.
Yeah,
Don't worry. I've been there too, but go on.
Yeah, and it literally was going into my archive and going, oh my goodness, that, and everything that was being said. It even took me to my childhood to think of times when I've been around people and how I didn't want to say no to things and ended up in bad situations because I was too scared that if I said no, and then everybody would, because it was a groups of us we used to hang out with, that they would be like, oh, get her out type of thing, that you don't belong in here anymore because I'm not doing what everyone else does. Oh my goodness, so many different points that was so powerful. And, thank you so much for playing that, Michael, because that was very powerful. And it's so nice that we can have the conversation about this stuff and actually refer to people who go into somebody like that person who has really broken it down. And we can conversate about two human beings here that actually we have our own experiences and can relate to it. And that is, it was absolutely fantastic. So thank you for sharing that.
Anytime. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think in a lot of situations, even myself, I did a lot of that. And, he said one of the biggest points, and this is where it's going to tie into relationships. They don't respect you. It's because they know that they can push you around without consequences. They know that they can act a certain way without consequences. They know that they can enforce their perspectives, enforce their views, guide the relationship how they want to guide the relationship without no pushback. Am I saying that you should make it challenging and not be agreeable? No, of course you should be very agreeable. But what I'm saying is they know in their heart of hearts, well, I can do this, and they're not going to say anything because they're afraid to lose me.
Yes.
Now, the biggest thing that I took away from it is, as he says, don't be afraid to let the chips fall wherever they fall. Don't be afraid to lose somebody because you've enforced your boundaries in a relationship, at a workplace, or with friends. If you feel that somebody's crossed a boundary, and I'm not even going to say the word you feel, if you know,
Yeah, that's right. If you know,
not
right?
even say
You
feel,
know.
because
Yeah.
no, if you know someone's crossed a boundary with you, and you say, "Yo, knock it off." I'm not telling you to talk to your woman like that. With your woman, you're going to talk to her with a little more grace. You're going to say, "Babe, I don't like what you did. Don't do again." But what I'm trying to say is that if someone keeps pushing your boundaries, it shows a lack of respect.
Massively, right?
Especially if they know your boundaries.
Yes. Especially if
Think
you
about
express
this,
them,
guys.
right?
This is where I want to drive the point home. Especially if they know your boundaries and they keep pushing them, now you have a problem. Now you need to say,
Wait a damn minute, something's wrong here.
because they know your boundaries and they're still
Stepping over that line.
pushing them.
Mm.
Now that shows a lack of disrespect. They don't respect you on their end. So now you need to sit down and have a conversation.
And you need to express yourself freely, as he said,
Yeah.
right? And it doesn't matter where the chips fall at the end, because, you know, at
Not
the end,
rudely though, but
no,
express
not
yourself.
rudely. No, absolutely. It's all about, you know, just because somebody else is being disrespectful doesn't mean you need to be disrespectful
No.
too. You can just be assertive. If you're sitting and you're assertive in what you're saying and you're very clear in what you're saying, and the other person still not hearing and still just carrying on, then like Michael said, it's not that you feel disrespected, you are being disrespected.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to. You know, you can say, oh, but maybe a lot of women will go, yeah, but you know, he only done that because of this, or they have all these different excuses behind it. But it is what it is. You look at the black and white of it and you break it down, and you've had a conversation and you've said what you need to say, and they're overstepping those boundaries, constantly disrespecting you, then why is there an excuse behind it? There doesn't need to be an excuse. It needs to be to see it for what it is. Because I know that's something I used to do too. I would try and sugarcoat it.
You try to rationalize bad behavior.
Yeah, and make it sound like it sounds really pretty with like little cream and cherries on top.
Well,
No.
that's like saying like, oh, here's a plate of poop and there's a bow tie on it. Like, no,
Yeah,
like,
looks
it is
good,
what
right?
it is. It's still a piece of poop, man. Like it's like I hate to say it, and I'm not a man to cuss or anything. It's like if you are baking a cake and you take poop and you put it in part of the batter, and you're like, yeah, here's this cake and it's made out of poop. I'm sorry, that's not a cake, that's poop.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people are doing, unfortunately.
That's a very good way to express that. Absolutely. And one of the other points I wanted to point out there was, and the good side of things, where he's saying, focus on the people that like you, focus on the people that want to be around you, focus on the ones that do respect you and will help you grow and inspire you and empower you to be the best version of you, because they're the ones you want around in your life. And then what's a difference? Like, since I became more assertive, since I started to speak what I thought, what I felt, and I was not frightened to do that. And even if I have been, I will still push myself past that. If I think, oh, I don't want to say nothing, I now question myself and go, well, why wouldn't you want to say anything? Like, why your opinion doesn't count? And yeah, of course it does. So I will say it.
I'll say this though, it does. Your opinion does count, but a lot of people take it too far. And that's where there's the pull. Like every time they're just like, oh, that person offended me. Oh, that person like, you know what I mean? Everything is situational.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But you know when you're being offended and when you're not.
Yeah, you have to, and then you have to feel, if it feel it in that moment and you think it in that moment, then it's happening. Then it's not a delusion. It's not delusional. It's not like a lot of people just kind of wipe themselves, like they just think they're not what they're thinking isn't right, or maybe it's wrong, but actually if you're thinking it and this is what you're seeing and this is what is coming to you, then you need to see it. Like Michael said, if it's poop, it's poop. You can't make it look, even though you can make it look into something, but you're not going to then take your time and eat it.
No,
you're just not, so it's the same. You're not going to
it's funny that you brought that up, because it's like if someone tells you that there's poop in the cake, you eat the cake and you're like, hey, there's poop in this cake. Well, I told you that. Like,
exactly.
I told you that.
Exactly.
I would say there's very positive ways for one to assert themselves. And I'm also going to say this too. And I'm not trying to be offensive when I say this, but people get in line real quick when you assert yourself, especially if you're a quiet one like myself and you assert yourself. Then they're like, whoa, okay, like he's not playing around. Like he said something, he asserted himself. And for me, I've noticed that when I've done that, people get in line real quick.
And they do. No, you're so right.
As he said, they'll start to suck up to you. And again, we're not advocating that type of behavior. But what we're saying is people get in line real quick because they're like, whoa, like they're not playing around anymore. And I think you have to feel very comfortable saying no. You have to feel very comfortable with, hey, if they leave, they leave.
Yeah, I think you've got to have that sense of, I was writing about this earlier on, actually, a sense of non-attachment, because once you attach yourself to people, things, circumstances, I don't know, whatever it is, it becomes a harder process. But actually, if you have that sense of detachment where you don't, listen, the thing is, I think we've said this before as well. Unfortunately, so many people do have that fear of loss, that they're going to lose.
Abandonment. Those are abandonment issues. That's a whole other.
Yeah. And people do have that massively, right? And they won't say things because they're so scared that someone's going to walk away. But you know what? There's billions of people on this planet, and it's always about coming back to yourself and working on yourself and just trying it just push it, like be assertive every so often. If you're not that assertive,
well, there's something I actually wanted to say that you touched on. People want the love more, like when they're being disrespected, they don't want to say anything because they want the love more than being respected.
Yes.
And what you don't understand, and again, I'm going to say something that is going to be and again, I honestly hope you guys take this to the bank. You want someone to respect you first before they love you. I'm going to say that one more time. You want someone to love you first. You want someone to respect you first before they love you, because they can't love you if they don't respect you.
Oh, that's a high five to that one, Michael. Absolutely. That is so on point. If there is no respect, how can there be love? And think about that. Michael, it's so true what you're saying. You know what? Every one of the relationships that I've experienced in my life, and I'm not just speaking on a love level of a relationship, I mean, as in friendships, families, whoever it is, work. If I haven't the ones that I've had the respect with are the ones that we've grown and loved each other and had a natural love towards the other person. And again, it could be a work colleague. Doesn't mean I can't love on somebody just because I'm not with them like that. It's a natural thing. Like I love my mother, I love my child, but there's always a respect. There's always a respect first. And the ones that haven't respected me and said, I love you regardless, or I've got a lot of love for you, whatever has been said, are the ones that just are not around anymore. And I felt that I couldn't express myself and we couldn't speak about things. And the ones that I feared losing as well, actually. So, but the other ones I've had no attachment to, and there's been a pure respect and a build up of getting to know one another just for whatever reason's been around. Yeah, it's turned into today still having long-term relationships with these people, which is phenomenal.
Well, that's the one thing I've always looked at it. As I said, if a person doesn't respect you, and you could see it too, like you're
Yeah,
not blind. You have two eyes, you have ears.
you
If a
feel
person doesn't respect you, and you could tell if they do, they adhere to your authority, means they listen to you, means they're willing to be understanding, they're willing to be peaceful. But if they don't, then clearly there's a sign of lack of disrespect or disconnect, I'd like to say. Because a lot of times people want to please people because they're afraid to be abandoned. Well, what if I don't find love again? What if this and that? Let me tolerate their disrespect so I don't lose the love. But you can't have the love without the respect.
so there is no love there in the first place,
Yeah,
right?
there's no love there in the first place, right?
Yeah,
So
and don't get them mixed up.
yeah, it's respect first, then love. And with that being said, guys, I actually have a bonus video for you guys, based around the same subject. And I'm going to share it with you guys. And Anthea has never seen this one either. But I think she will like this one. This one's very good. It's a mixture of different people. And again, it's fair use. And I think you guys will really enjoy it. We'll break it down and then we will end this Friday very well. So again, we'll talk about it. We'll play the video for you guys. Again, it's fair use and enjoy.
The older we get, the more we realize we're not going to be here forever. When you realize how fast time is going, it should bring a sense of urgency. Your time on this earth is not unlimited. If you're going to reach your highest potential, you can't be distracted by things that are keeping you from your purpose. Your time is too valuable to respond to every critic. Try to convince people that you really are okay. Those are distractions. Everyone's not going to accept you. Quit trying to convince someone to understand you that's determined to misunderstand you. You have to set your face. The people that need to be for you will be for you. But too often, we're trying to convince people to be our friend. And if someone doesn't see the gift that you are, value your friendship, do yourself a favor and move on. They are not a part of your destiny. Now, don't waste another minute trying to convince someone to like you, to come see you. They are not for you. They are a distraction. You're not supposed to engage in every conflict. Most of the things that come against us are simply distractions. It takes discipline to say, I am not going to respond. I have a destiny to fulfill. My hour has come. Avoiding a fight is a mark of honor. It's easy to get in conflict, want to pay people back. That doesn't take any discipline. Not being drawn into conflict, that takes your face being set. That person that cut you off in traffic, is it worth getting upset over when you're never going to see them again? The only way they can hinder you is if you get baited into conflict. Ignore it. Don't give it the time of day. I'm not saying to be passive and don't fight any battles. I'm saying to look at what the spoils are. Will it just feed your ego, or will it propel you into your destiny? We fight too many battles that don't matter. And sometimes, instead of celebrating you, people will get jealous, try to pull you down. Don't take the bait. It's a distraction. Stay focused on your purpose. As far as you can, live at peace with everyone. Some people don't want to have peace with you. Well, Joel, shouldn't I go the extra mile? Shouldn't I be the bigger person? Yes, but if you do all that and they still don't want peace, you need to move on. At some point, you have to put your foot down and say, you may have a problem with me, but I don't have time to have a problem with you.
Oh.
Life is too short to try to have peace with people that don't
Brilliant.
want with you. My
Brilliant.
nature is to be a peacemaker. But some people have their own issues. They don't get along with themselves. How are they going to get along with you? No matter what you do, it's not going to be enough. If you keep trying to appease them, spending all your time and energy, all that's doing is letting them control you. We all have people in our life, like David's brother. They don't like seeing you happy, going places. It's not about you, it's about the favor on your life. Don't take it personally. Keep your face set. And some people that make the most withdrawals put in the least deposits. They expect you to always be there to help them, to meet their every demand. But when you need something, they're never around. If that friendship is one-sided, they're doing all the taking, you need to make a change. Quit swimming across an ocean to be good to someone that won't jump across a puddle to be good to you.
Wow. Wow.
For what you can do for them. Those are distractions. Break away from people like that. The only thing you really owe people is to love them. But if you think you have to keep everyone happy, I got to call this one every day or they'll get upset. You are carrying a debt that you don't owe.
Oh my goodness.
Keep every person happy. The one person that won't be happy is you. Be nice, go the extra mile, but don't be a people pleaser. It's very freeing when you realize you are not responsible to keep other people happy. You're responsible for your own happiness. There was this couple I knew years ago. They moved to another city and I helped them move. I would call and check on them. But the feeling I got from them is I was never doing enough. They always had a complaint. They were constantly finding fault, trying to make me feel guilty. One day I realized they were only making withdrawals, never any deposits. When I stopped, you would have thought I'd taken their firstborn child. My attitude was, I love you, but I don't owe you. If someone is controlling you, it's not their fault, it's yours. You cannot reach your destiny dragging people along, trying to keep everyone happy. It's great to get free from addictions, but one of the greatest freedoms is to get free from people. Who will tell you what to wear, what to drive. They're quick to tell you how to run your life. Sometimes they can't even run their own life. It's good to listen to wise counsel, but nobody can hear what you hear on the inside. They don't know the gifts, the dreams, the calling. You can't worry about what everybody else thinks. If someone gets offended because you're not taking their advice, that's not your problem. Because people will try to keep you in their box, in who they want you to be. Listen to their advice, but be strong to follow that still small voice on the inside. God won't give someone else more insight into your destiny than he does you. Some people won't understand you. They'll get upset when you break out of the box. Someone told me, Joel, you've forgotten where we've come from. I thought, I haven't forgotten. I just didn't want to stay there. This is your life. God is calling you out of the ordinary. He has things in your future that are going to break barriers. You're going to go where no one in your family has gone. Sure, there will be people that find fault, think that you're missing it. That's okay. Nobody has ever done anything great without opposition. Keep your face set. Don't let the fear of what people are going to think keep you in your box. You can't be a people pleaser and reach your potential. You may have to disappoint a few people in order to reach your destiny.
I can get you to start the process of genuinely being able to handle judgment because you finally are exhausted of living your life based on other people's opinions, including Stranger Pants 96 and your mom. The anonymous comment from Sally Pants 49 or Jumpman 36, it's you don't do things because somebody says you're ugly or you're stupid and you have no idea who they are over here, all the way to your mom. Why is that dictating you? You all went through high school. You all lived life trying to do shit to impress other people. And we still do it at scale. Like, my friends, every person here that's not 100% happy is not doing something because of judgment of somebody else. People here are in debt because they bought a house that was too expensive, not using rooms, and they don't have the humility to sell that house and go back to rent because they don't want their friend from high school to judge them because we manifested that you have to own a home. The ideology of owning a home and the inability to take a step backwards to take 3 steps forward is going to make you unhappy till the end. I'm not willing to live my life under your judgment of what life is. There are people right now that are living their life still in their 40s and 50s based on the opinion of their parents. And then what starts happening is they start to resent their parents. My friends, until our society redefines success in being happy, not being rich, everybody will continue to go down.
Okay, that's most of the video, guys. But sure, Anthea has a lot to say, so I'll let her go first.
So there was so much again, Michael. It's so nowhere to start with it, really.
Well, I'll go first. I love the fact that what he said is, you might have a problem with me, but I don't have time to have a problem with you.
I love that. That was just brilliant, right? And it's so true. I'm just, and I'm going to jump back in on that one just to say it's funny because the things that were being said again, I was bringing to my forefront people who, if he was saying, people that if you don't text them every single day, they get upset with you. And it didn't matter how much I gave and I gave and I gave. If I didn't call, then why haven't you called me? Oh, you don't care. And it's like, whoa, no. I've got a life to live too. And he was saying just keep depositing, right? And
so what he meant by that statement is a lot of people withdraw from you, but they make no deposits into your life.
Right. And that's how that's how things were coming up for me that has happened. And it's like, it's so profound what they were saying again.
Like he said, people will withdraw, they'll take, but they'll never deposit anything. But I would say the biggest one is, and I really want you guys to take this home. He said it in the video, stop swimming oceans to people please people for someone that won't even jump over a puddle for you.
So true, right?
You're doing so much for somebody that will do nothing for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think honestly, and even in the relationship concept, that's where we need to take a step back and say, am I doing a lot for this person and they're doing very little for me? You know, if you're moving mountains to keep the relationship, but the other person won't even jump over a puddle for you, you know it's not the relationship for you.
It speaks volumes, doesn't it? When you hear it like that, it's what it does. It speaks volumes. And again, watch. When people tell you who they are, believe them. When they show you who they are, believe them. And don't try and sugarcoat it. Because they're showing you. And too many of us just ignore it because of people pleasing. But it is time to claim back your own power. And if somebody is not going over the ocean how you would, and they were not even prepared to jump over the puddle, then think about what you're doing. Like, and they were saying you can't reach your destiny, you can't reach your
you can't.
You can't. And man, you know, when I learned to let go of people that were really dragging me down, I mean, look, I probably wouldn't be doing this podcast right now had I not let go of these people. I probably wouldn't be doing the things that I do outside of this podcast. But because I chose me and I chose what is going to work for me and the things that I want to do, like helping people, helping make a difference to the world. And the only way I can help make a difference to the world is being the difference to the world. And then I can outlay that for everybody else. But if I'm the one that is allowing all the like crap to happen and I'm just allowing and hearing what other people say, down to family members, down to everybody, and just keeping myself inside this tiny little box because of what others are saying and what they're doing, then I would never be where I am today. It just would never have happened because I would have stayed there. But because I was willing to put myself first and break out of that box and actually say to myself, no, this is what I want to do, and I don't really care what you want because you're not respecting what I want, then I was able to move forward. Then things started changing for me. Then opportunities were being shown. Then the right people were coming along and the right circumstances, the right, everything just started to come together. But while I was in that place of people pleasing, it wasn't happening to what it could happen.
Well, I love what he said in the video about not trying to force people to understand you.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're not. If they're not going to understand you, they're not going to. You can't push them there. You can't pull them there. If they don't, they don't. Hang around with people that do. You see what I'm saying? Like, and it's interesting because you said, like, you see, it's like we care so much about what people think that, and again, and I'll give you guys a short summary. People pleasing shows a lack of identity, that you don't know who you are. All those points that they made in the video, in both videos, shows a lack of identity. You don't know who you are. You don't know how to stand up for yourself. And again, it's not bashing you, but it's helping you adjust to say, find out who your identity is and find out who you are so you can make those changes, so you can put yourself first.
And you do have a voice. Everybody has a voice. You can speak what you want at the end of the day. I'm not saying...
You can speak what you want. You can be who you want to be. But like the biggest driving point home is stop doing so much for people that are doing so little for you.
Yes,
you see, he gave a beautiful example of friends that he was helping move. And if he constantly wasn't, it was never enough. And, you know, and that's why you want to avoid those type of relationships because those are performance based.
Yes. Can't stand on your head enough different ways to make someone like you at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's perform for me like the little monkey with the little hat on. Perform. When you don't perform for me, I'm angry. Because again, sometimes you just have to take a step back, realize, yo, I'm doing too much. And you also have to ask sometimes why you're doing it. Are you doing it to get approval? Or are you genuinely doing it just to do it?
Yeah, that's a very good point, Michael. That's a very, very good point. You do need to ask yourself why you're doing it. That's really important because it could be that you're just doing it because you actually, you could be doing it because you actually just want to do it. And it's not, you know, there's nothing behind it. It's just an act of kindness.
Genuine.
Yeah, it's just an act of kindness in some situation. And that was that. But to be doing it continuously and for validation, it's not going to work, and it will keep you in that small place. And you want to grow out here. You want to become who you want to be. And I think it all starts with that self-respect and that self-love. And then when you're meeting people, like Michael rightfully said, if you're meeting into a partnership with a love relationship, then definitely must start with a respect. There's no respect there, it's not going to ever be love.
Yeah, guys. So that's it for the day. Hopefully you enjoyed the videos. As I said, like, share, subscribe. Sunday we have a big episode. We actually have a special guest.
Oh yes, we do.
On Sunday. Her name is Melissa Rodriguez, and she's going to teach us on how to attract the right partner. Now, I don't want to give too much away, but if you guys want to see more, tune in on Sunday. And we're gonna try to have more special guests on here.
And it's 12 p.m. Eastern, isn't it? And 5
Yeah.
p.m. BST, which is GMT too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So tell your friends, tell your people. You're definitely going to want to be a part of it. It's going to be a good conversation. There'll be a lot of questions asked. And hopefully you guys take something away from it. That's why we call this podcast Love and Relationship Conversations, because there's certain conversations that we need to open up to have the relationships that we want, to have the love that we want, to have the respect that we want. That's exactly what it comes down to, right? So we're going to be able to have this on Sunday, because you need to understand one thing before we go. Some conversations are going to be uncomfortable, but they need to be had so we can fix the things that need to be worked on to go where we need to go.
Absolutely.
Because if we're only willing to only have the positive conversations, I don't look at it as positive and negative. I look at it conversation. Yes, there's going to be an uncomfortable part of it, maybe we're saying, hey, like you need to adjust this and work on this to get this. It doesn't mean it's bad. It just means adjustment.
Absolutely. It's all about adjusting. And if the person is not adjusting to what you've spoken about, and it continues to be that way, that's when you know you need change, whatever that is for you.
Exactly. So guys and girls, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
We're going to see you guys on Sunday for a very special episode. And we can't wait to sit down with you.
Take care, everybody.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.